My husband never imagined this would happen. He just took our son to his female assistant's place and did not come home all night long. So I immediately asked the system to remove me from this mission. When he finally came back carrying gifts, he realized there was no trace of his wife anywhere in the house. Even the wedding room we decorated so carefully together had been completely destroyed. Our son's eyes were red from crying for his mom. My husband desperately kept calling Emma's number, but all he heard in response was this number is no longer in service. In that moment, father and son both broke down screaming in despair. System, I want to go home now. The system answered immediately, understood. Post-exit procedure is now starting. You can fully leave this world in half a month. The usually mechanical voice actually paused for a few seconds. Then it added with rare confusion, host, you have a loving husband here and a sweet, thoughtful son. Is this really not your home? These two are supposed to be your family. At the word family, my eyes slowly drifted up to the television screen. Right then, the TV was live streaming CEO Lucas Rivera of Rivera Group. Stepping off a plane with our son Mason, Lucas held Mason tightly in his arms, striding forward with long, determined steps. Reporters jogged after him and called out, Mr. Rivera, we heard you wrapped up your meetings in France just yesterday and took an overnight flight back home. Why were you in such a rush? Is there something especially important today? Lucas, who was always cold and serious in business, actually turned toward the camera and showed an incredibly gentle smile. Today is my wife's birthday. Of course, my son and I had to rush back to celebrate with her. To me, anything related to my wife is the most important thing there is. Little Mason Rivera lifted up the shopping bag in his arms proudly. Mom, we picked out a birthday present just for you. We are coming home to you right now. The reporters tried to ask more questions, but Lucas just said he was in a hurry and stopped answering. All the cameras caught was his back as he rushed away. The reporters looked after him with open envy. Mr. Rivera's love for Mrs. Rivera has never changed at all over the years. 10 years have gone by, and he is still deeply in love with her. He really is the perfect husband. Even the young master of the Rivera family acts just like his father when it comes to caring for mom. With a husband and son like that, I bet Mrs. Rivera must be incredibly happy. I turned the TV off, and a bitter smile tugged at my lips. Happy. A month ago, I would have said yes without hesitation. But now I could not bring myself to say that word at all. No one here knows that I am not from this world at all. I came into this world 10 years ago, with one mission on my back, to save and heal Lucas Rivera, who watched his parents die. When I first met him, he was a gloomy, withdrawn teenager who completely shut himself off from the world. It took me 3 long years to slowly lead him out of the darkness step by step, until he became the CEO of Rivera Group he is today. The moment he fully took control of the company, my mission was technically complete. But when the system asked if I wanted to leave, I hesitated. All I could see in my mind was Lucas clinging to me and begging me not to go, his arms wrapped around me so tightly. I did not dare imagine what losing me would do to Lucas after losing his parents already. If the person he loved most left too, what kind of person would he become then? So I chose to stay and marry him in this world. At our wedding, I told Lucas very seriously, if you ever betray me one day, I will disappear from this world forever. Back then, he held my hand tight and swore that day would never come. He said his love for me would last forever. After we married, he kept his promises just like those vows. His love burned bright and intense. Every anniversary, big or small, he cleared his schedule completely to be right by my side. Whenever some woman tried to hit on him at events, he would have security escort her out on the spot. When I gave birth, I had complications. I was in the operating room for a whole day and night. Lucas stayed outside the doors, on his knees for that same day and night, praying desperately for me to come out alive. When I was wheeled out, he ignored the fact. His own legs had completely gone numb. He stumbled to my bedside and collapsed there, gripping my hand with tears streaming down his face. Emma, this was all my fault. I should never have said I wanted a baby. We will never try again ever. I cannot stand the thought of risking your life. To prove he meant it, he had a vasectomy done that very same day. When it came time to name our son, he chose Mason Lucas without hesitation. Those 3 names. He said they carried all the love he had for me. Under his influence, Mason grew up like a little gentleman, acting like a tiny man of the house, always taking care of me. His mom, even as a little kid, he could slice fruit perfectly and feed it to me with toothpicks one by one. Whenever I accidentally nicked my finger, he would blow on the cut with such serious concern, then rush to grab a cartoon bandage to wrap it up for me. People joked that in the Rivera family, Mason did not look like the child who needed caring for. If anything, I was the one who always needed looking after. Mason would puff out his chest proudly when he heard that. My mom is the person I love the most in the whole world. Of course I have to take care of her. Lucas would laugh and ruffle his hair, his face full of pride too. My wife does not need to lift a finger at home. My son and I can handle everything for her. I once truly believed I would be happy like that forever, but vows blow away like the wind. They disappear quietly in the river of time. The father and son who loved me so fiercely before, now, have built another home outside with his assistant, Heather. The 2 of them have snuck off to be with her countless times behind my back. The man I have been married to for 5 years wraps his arms around Heather's waist and calls her baby in private. The son I carried for 10 long months curls up in Heather's arms and calls her Auntie Heather so sweetly. Even yesterday, they were not flying to France for meetings at all. They went to Switzerland with Heather to go skiing together. The words from our wedding ended up coming true to the letter. The moment I learned the truth, I decided I would leave this world and leave this lying father and son behind. I stared at the birthday cake in front of me melting slowly and whispered to myself, they are not my family anymore. I'm going to walk away from them. Who is leaving us? Right as the words left my mouth, 2 voices rang out at the exact same time. I looked up sharply and saw Lucas and Mason standing in the doorway. Mason slid down from Lucas's arms, ran toward me on his little legs and dove into my embrace. Mom, who did you just say was going to leave? I answered softly. A friend of mine. His marriage fell apart. He is planning to leave his husband and son behind. Mason tipped his head up and planted a loud kiss on my cheek. Mom, your friend is really pitiful. Good thing Dad and I will love you forever. Lucas set his coat aside, then walked over and wrapped both of us in his arms, his voice just as gentle as always. Our son is right. Emma, the three of us will be together forever. I said nothing. My long lashes hid all the bitterness in my eyes. Forever we would never have forever again. Mason spotted the cake on the table and hurriedly pulled out the gift bag in his hand. Mom, this is the present Dad and I picked out for you. Lucas took the gift box from the bag and opened it. Inside was an emerald necklace. His voice carried a hint of apology. Emma, things were crazy with work in France, so our flight back was a little later than planned. Please do not be mad at us. He kept talking, as he lifted the necklace from the box, then leaned in to fasten it around my neck. The moment he came closer, a strong scent of gardenia hit me, and Lucas has never worn cologne in his life. My stomach lurched violently. I could not help shoving them both away. I bolted for the bathroom and started retching over the sink. Lucas has always fussed over my health. Even a light cough usually sends him into a panic. So seeing me like this now, he grabbed his phone in a panic and immediately tried to call our doctor. I pressed his hand down, my eyes still red from gagging, and stared straight at him. I am fine. I just thought about my friend's husband and son, and their behavior made me feel sick to my stomach. Lucas, if you ever stop loving me, I would rather you just... He did not let me finish. He cut me off right away, pulling me into his arms with crushing force, like he wanted to fuse me into his own body, and never let me go again. Emma, you still do not understand my heart. In this life, I will only ever love one woman, you. I will never let you leave me. Mason clenched his little fists, his face suddenly very serious. Mom, you can relax. Dad and I would never do anything to hurt you. I will even help you keep an eye on Dad. If he ever dares do something that betrays you, I will tell you right away no matter what. I will always stand on your side. Lucas could not help laughing at that. You little punk. Is that really what you think of your dad? Mason shot him a glare and snorted. Whatever, I still love Mom the most. I am going to protect Mom forever. Listening to them banter back and forth, I could not manage even the faintest smile. All I felt was a sharp knife twisting, grinding my heart into pieces. Lucas swore he loved me, but he still went out and found another woman. Mason promised to protect me, but he helped Lucas cover for her and kept me in the dark. I honestly could not tell anymore if any of their words were true or just pretty lies. The next morning, Lucas made breakfast himself for me like always. He set it in front of me with that doting look in his eyes. Emma, after we eat, let us all go to the ski resort as a family, okay? Mason and I came home late yesterday, so today we will stay with you and make up for your birthday properly. Mason handed me a glass of fresh juice and wrapped his arms around my waist. Mom, please let us go. Skiing is super fun, you will love it. I never cared much for skiing. But before I even finished breakfast, Lucas and Mason had already packed up all the gear and clothes. Then they practically dragged me into the car. Only when we reached the resort did I finally understand why they were so set on coming here. The moment I stepped out of the car, I saw Heather standing at the entrance of the slopes, looking around expectantly. As soon as Lucas and Mason climbed out of the car, Heather's eyes lit up. She ran over in quick little steps, pulled off her own scarf naturally, and wrapped it snugly around Mason's neck. Then she handed Lucas a thermos cup, her eyes shining as she stared up at him. I watched silently as she moved so smoothly and naturally. Mason might be young, but he has always hated anyone outside the family touching him. And Lucas has refused drinks from any woman but me ever since someone slipped something in his glass 6 years ago. Yet now both of them accepted Heather's care without a word.